So today I want to talk about the mind of Ed Kemper. Yes, talk about the gruesome murders and how he went about them, but really just how his mind worked at that time and those disturbing factors. I'm going to be leaving some things out. There's other things, details as to what happened before he was obviously caught. And this, I want to really target the gruesome murders that took place, like what he did, how he went about them. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Ed Kemper, born December 18th, 1948 in Burbank, California. Kemper had a troubled upbringing. His parents divorced in early life as a child. After the divorce, he moved to Montana with his mother, Clarnell, who kept Kemper locked in the basement, fearing he would hurt his sisters. His mother also feared it would turn him gay if she gave him any type of affection. He ran away to reunite with his father, but was left behind in North Fork, California. As a child, Kemper had a dark fantasy life. He performed rites with his younger sister's dolls, removing their heads and hands. On one occasion, when his elder sister teased him and asked why he did not try to kiss his teacher, he replied, "If I kiss her, I'd have to kill her first." He would sneak out of his house armed with his father's bayonet and go to his second grade teacher's house to watch her through her windows. For fun as a child, he would play gas chamber and electric chair, in which he'd have his younger sister tie him up and flip an imaginary switch. He would then tumble over and squirm on the floor, pretending that he was being executed by gas inhalation or electric shock. In 1963, he had an argument with his grandmother, which enraged him. He then retrieved his rifle that his grandfather gave him for hunting, came back to where she was in the kitchen, and with her back turned towards him, he shot her once in the head and twice in the back, killing her. And then he waited for his grandfather to return home from grocery shopping, and when he did, he came outside, shooting and killing his grandfather. After killing his grandparents, he didn't know what to do, so he called his mother, confessing what he had done. And she told him, "You need to turn yourself into the authorities before I do," in which Kemper ended up doing. Kemper was sentenced to a mental rehabilitation center to the age of 21, where he managed to convince the psychiatrist he was rehabilitated. Between May 1972 and April 1973, he would pick up women hitchhikers and take them to secluded areas where he would shoot, stab, smother, or strangle them. He would then take their bodies back home where he would decapitate them and have sex with their heads along with their corpses as well. And then he would dismember them entirely. One night, his mother returned home from a night out. This awoke Kemper. He came into her room to find her reading a paperback. She then said to him, "Oh, I suppose you want to stay up and talk all night now," which he replied with a "No, and have a good night," as he was leaving, only to wait for her to fall asleep, and when she did, he snuck back into her room and bludgeoned her with a claw hammer and slit her throat with a penknife. He then proceeded to decapitate her and have sex with her head. Then he used her head as a dartboard. Kemper stated that he put her head on a shelf and screamed at her for an hour before smashing her face in. He also cut her tongue and lungs out and put them in the garbage disposal. However, it was too tough to break down, shooting it back into the sink. Later, Kemper said, and quote, "That seemed appropriate as much as she bitched and screamed and yelled at me over so many years." After killing his mother, he invited her best friend over for dinner and a movie. When she arrived, he strangled her to death to create a cover story that his mother and Hollitt had gone away on vacation together. Shortly after, he left a note to the police and fled to Pueblo, Colorado, carrying 3 guns and hundreds of rounds of ammunition in his car, and he believed he was the target of an active manhunt. After not hearing any news on the radio about the murders of his mother and Hollitt, When he arrived in Pueblo, he found a phone booth and called the police. Several hours later, he called again, asking to speak to an officer he knew. He confessed to that officer and then waited for the police to arrive and take him into custody. And there you have it. It's truly frightening how one individual can be. That being said, I'm glad he's in prison and he's never getting out. Wow. I can't even wrap my brain around how insane that guy is. Well, I do want to say that this video was not made to glorify anything like that. Obviously, I would think that people would understand that. But yeah, it was not made to glorify. It just was interesting because of how insane somebody can be. Yeah. But I think that's going to be it. And, I hope you're enjoying the content. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.